Well, hello again and welcome to our YouTube channel, Soaring Together. This week, Ricky and I had the opportunity to go back to Mesa Verde National Park here in Colorado. We actually went there last year, but part of the southern loop where the cliff dwellings are located was not open due to COVID. So this year we were able to take a self-guided tour down into one of the cliff homes. If you're not familiar with Mesa Verde, I'll include some information along as we go in this video.
Here we go. All we need is an open road and a chance to see a never-ending world that's beautiful. Here we go with the sunlight on our skin. It's a brand new day. It's ours to take and we will let it in. This is where the adventure begins.
If you don't mind, I'll just need to see the ID that goes with this pass, please.
Oh, here's...
Yeah. Perfect. Would you like a map and visitor's guide as well?
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Do y'all have any questions about the park I might be able to answer?
There's one house that you can tour without the tour pass.
Yeah, that's Step House, which is all the way down to the south side of the park, about 30 miles in. That's open until 3:30 for self-guided tour. So if you're interested in doing that one, I would head straight out there.
Okay.
You may be able to make it out there before it closes.
Okay. We were here last year and the bottom part of the park was closed. So.
Yeah. Last year a lot of things were closed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Y'all have a great day now. Guys, safe and enjoy your-
Thank you. Mesa Verde was a place where years ago the Pueblo people lived. They were, from what archaeologists have discovered, they were small people, and they think they lived there something like 100 years. And during this time, they of course had to plant and grow their own crops. They grew those on top of the flat land, and then they built their homes down into the sides of the cliffs to hide their families from the enemies. And I also read that they think the reason that the people moved from Mesa Verde was because of a severe drought. There were some lightning strikes that were burning up their crops. They did have some diseases that spread in the communities, and a lot of the people died. And so the Pueblo people relocated down into New Mexico during that time. Well, we are going to do a short hike down to the step house, a cliff dwelling. Oh, wow. You know, it's hard to believe places like this even exist in the United States. We drove for miles to get back here. How many miles did we drive? 30?
That's what he said.
30 miles through mountains. And those little people lived in these cliffs.
There's some more little stupid people coming down here. Come on, get in front of them.
I don't think they were Indians. They were some kind of just a small people tribe. You know?
That may be where I come from.
I think I saw a sign that said, we're at 7,000 foot elevation.
Yeah.
So not as bad as we have been. We have hiked in 10,000 foot elevation. So this is a easy task today. But those little people didn't have this sidewalk to walk on like we do.
God, you're killing me.
They had to climb down the rocks. But they lived down in there. They never came out. They grew their food. They had their medicine from the earth. And they hid from their enemies. Where?
Look at it that way.
Look at it which way? Oh, it does. There's the nose, and there's the mouth, and there's the eyes. And he's even got a crown on top. See up there, the crown. Now we're going to go into the step house. So this is where some of the little people lived.
Where they get the water from? Catch it?
This whole alcove is made out of sandstone.
Okay.
And what happens whenever it rains, the surface will suck the groundwater in like a sponge and will slowly release it. So that's why those plants and the ones up here along the very, very crack up here are doing so well, even though we've had a 7+ year drought.
Okay.
And it's slowly allowing these guys to grow as well. So during a good time, normal rainfall, there'd be a stream coming out from the wall. In the Mesa Verde National Park,
There are 6 cliff dwelling homes that are available for you to visit during the months of May through September. 3 of these are self-guided tours, which include the Spruce Tree House, the Step House, and the Badger House community. Ranger guided hikes include the Long House, the Cliff Palace, and the Balcony House. Well, we made it around the trail. Hope you enjoyed the trail. Mesa Verde National Park is located on Highway 160 between the towns of Cortez and Mancos, Colorado. While we were riding in the park, I chose to not wear my helmet and just to enjoy the breeze and the scenery a little better. And so I had told Ricky when we were leaving, I said, when we get to the entrance sign, I want to stop so I can put my helmet on, because then we would be riding on the highway. So we pulled over at the entrance sign, and a car pulled up beside of us, and the guy rolled down his window and asked a question how the trike handled on all of the curves in the park. He was thinking about getting a trike.
Our conversation started out about the trike, and the longer we talked, the more it got off the trike and on to other issues. They were telling us their names are Jimmy and Galinda, and they're from Arkansas. And
actually, they're both policemen in Arkansas.
Yeah. Anyway, like I say, we gave him a card, and he noticed my email address, which is the beginning of it's pastor. So I mean, that was a giveaway. So
that opens up conversation.
So we began to talk about that, and not only are they police officers, they also take care of youth where they're from. But they had been involved in a motorcycle accident in
last year during Sturgis.
Yeah, actually, Glenda is about to go have some surgery, and
before the accident, they discovered that she had a brain tumor, and I think she said they only gave her a few months to live, and this has been a few years ago, and now they've both recovered from the accident, which took about a year, and they have found a couple small brain tumors that she will now have to have surgery.
Well, that being said, I told Jimmy, and you've heard me say it many times, but I do believe that there's a divine providence of God. We were actually supposed to do something else that day, and and for some reasons we chose not to. But that all being said, I just looked at him and I said, you know, I'd like to pray with y'all. He said, I was just fixing to ask you. So here we are standing at the entrance of Mesa Verde on the side of the road, holding hands and praying. And we're just going to believe God that you know, the word declares, by His stripes we have received our healing. And you know, they're talking about a miracle that, you know, is still alive, and I understand that.
It was a miracle they both survived the accident. They actually said they had a good tires on the bike. They think they picked up something in a driveway or parking area.
Well, who knows?
That punctured the tire, and they had a blowout, and just a miracle that both of them survived that accident. But not only do we meet people in the parks that we stay in, we just meet people along the highway, and just enjoy meeting people, and you can get into some long conversations with people and find out a lot about people in different parts of the country.
Well, again, like the pastor spoke about today, there is a purpose and a reason for us still being here today. And in that, we, you know, like I say, we just stopped on the side of the road. Thoroughly enjoyed talking with them, and looking forward to having, you know, other conversations with them. But like I was about to say, the pastor spoke about today, there's a reason why we're around. And I do believe the days are getting shorter, and I wanted to fulfill my purpose. Like I said, we were just on the side of the road, actually waiting for her to put her helmet on, and wound up in a conversation, not only a conversation, but a conversation with prayer. And I'm thankful for that. I mean, I missed what we were supposed to do, but in the scheme of things, I think what we wound up doing had more eternal value. Not sure, don't know. But
he spoke of the pastor's sermon today. We have been attending a church here in Colorado, in Bayfield, Pine Valley Church. Mm-hmm. And just enjoying their praise and worship there. They have an awesome praise and worship team. Today they had just a line of, like a choir singing. It was really good. And even some of the folks from the park here attend there while they're here for the summer. And good message, good praise and worship. Just having an awesome time here in Colorado.
On that same note, we also watched the pastor of the main church, a good friend of ours, where we're from. Mosaic. And
so we've had two sermons today.
Well, he spoke basically down the same lines. The Lord says the same thing, no matter where we're at. Maybe with different vernacular or different wording. But I believe He's saying to the church, we need to get ready. And not only do we need to get ready, but we need to be telling others about Jesus Christ. Because even if I go by the way of the grave, I don't believe that His coming, you know, we've heard that all our life. And Scripture even says that they're going to say, I've heard that all my life. Actually, several years ago, an older gentleman that I used to work with told me that. He said, well, I've heard that all my life and hasn't anything changed. And I said, what you don't realize is you just quoted the Bible and don't even know it. But one day that's going to happen. He says, an hour you think not, but he says, be looking up, for your redemption draweth nigh. So I'm thankful for the opportunities. We actually did go to church, and there's a couple in the park here that we've spoke to, but we wound up going to eating dinner with them and had good conversation. And just thankful for the opportunities the Lord gives us to share the good news. And I also say all the time, I talk to a signpost if it talk back, but I do listen as well. And just thankful for the opportunities the Lord gives us, and hopefully we can be a light in a lost and dying world.
Well, thank you for joining us as we are soaring together. Be sure and like and subscribe so you won't miss out on our journey.